I don't have my big screen on here. So if some of this stuff right here, this video intro is out of focus, well, I'm gonna blame it on the lens or because I had the R7 set for animals. And I don't think I'm an animal anymore. I think I'm quite civilized. Sometimes. Okay, cool. JonnyPink, hopefully you can see me and this thing is picking up, it's focusing on my eyes. I'm using the short lens that I rented, which is a 15 to 35. It's not an L glass lens, it's just the inexpensive $500 or $600 one, because it had a 67mm filter thread, which would allow me to use my filters. I'll leave a link to that video up over here, and I wanted to use those with this because I've thought about this lens. The L glass that I have, my older one that I use for video, is phenomenal, but it really is big. It's L glass, it's older, and it's just, but I don't need another lens, I just want one. But this is my very last time and day with this 100 to 400. It's going to be going out tomorrow back to lensrentals.com, and again, I like renting stuff. I'm going to leave a link down below. It's a discount coupon. I get a little bit of a kickback on that if you're interested. It's not an affiliate link, and if it doesn't work, email me and I'll send you a new one directly. I don't know how good how long they're good for, but it allows you to, again, I'm not affiliated with them. It just allows you to try different lenses and gear that you may not be able to afford right now. And that's kind of cool sometimes to play with it. I used to just buy that stuff and then be stuck with it. So I've got all kinds of gear that I don't need. I don't have to do that anymore. Anyway, so let me give you a few thoughts on this. I was shooting a grasshopper over there. And I was shooting it manually. That was awesome. The long reach on this with the 1.6 crop Canons and the 400mm on this gives me 640mm of reach, and the focus peaking on this is pretty phenomenal. The focus peaking on this is as phenomenal as the M50 that I used to love. This is the successor to that. This is a phenomenal setup for someone who is just getting into photography. You want something inexpensive. The tracking on this is absolutely mind-blowing. I hope that this tracking transfers over into the R1, and the R1 takes it a step further, and even the R5 too. It is that good. But this being an entry-level camera, I'm watching a bluebird. I'm not distracted. I'm not losing my thoughts. I'm easily distracted by the things that are moving around me that you can't see. Oh, beautiful little bluebird. I don't want to... I'll wait. Yesterday there was an owl here and I was shooting that. I'm going to get a few more shots. This one, if I had to choose only one, I would choose the 100 to 500. This is a phenomenal camera body. I like the features and the controls that I have more on the R7 as far as crop sensor bodies go. But as time has gone on, I still prefer my R3. And if you're buying an R3, you're probably going to buy an expensive lens like the 100 to 500 anyway. The 200 to 800 is also a great option. I have that in here in case I want to throw it on there. When I was shooting this at Han, I don't know, a couple days ago, what I found is that the photos I liked better for hummingbirds were with the 100 to 500 over this 100 to 400. But that is 4 times the price. 5 times the price. This little thing is 600 bucks. Man, and it's awesome. It is just a phenomenal lens. So much fun. That 200 to 800 is like the perfect sweet spot. When I have my 600 to f4 and I put a 1.4 extender on that, that is also the sweet spot. The 100 to 500 with a 1.4 extender on there at 700 millimeters, again, to me that's another sweet spot. That is just a phenomenal setup. When things are too far away, doesn't matter how much reach you have, 1200 millimeters, you start dealing with the haze and the atmosphere, so your photos still aren't as sharp. You want something closer. 800 millimeters to me is perfect because I can stand back and I can get a lot of detail and fill my sensor. The more you fill your sensor, the better your images are, unless they're just out of focus, and then you can still get some cool photos that way. This little camera R50 does have a lot of rolling shutter, more so than the R7 or, well, yeah, that's the only thing I would compare it to. But other than that, man, this is a fantastic little setup. Again, let me share some of this stuff with you guys. And I'm going to wrap it up here. This is my final walk back to the car with this. I did get a damselfly, hopefully it came out, and one dragonfly that was parked way out there. And yes, I did say parked. And there were a couple that were swarming around me. So my hope is that they'll be coming back in force very, very soon. One last thing about this, it is fun, but it could be just this lens. I'm used to pulling my manual focus, and I know people have said to me, well, you just point at something else and then you come back to it. And I've been doing that a lot too, but sometimes I have to switch to manual focus. And for whatever reason, I am unable to disengage the autofocus on this, whereas when I put my 100 to 500 on here, I can still use my manual and autofocus together, and I can't find the switch inside here. Not a big deal. So I did miss many, many, many shots. So to go back, if you buy the best gear in the world, but you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to get great shots. Vice versa, if you just want something fun and you've been doing it for a while, this is a fantastic option. And if you just want to learn, again, this is a fantastic option because it does so many things for you. Yes, it does get frustrating, but it's all just fun. It's not like you're spending money on film, right? You have a 400 ISO film and you get 12 shots, 24 shots. You don't have to worry about that. 36 shots. It's unlimited, and what you don't like, you just dump when you get home. And as one photographer said on YouTube, yeah, 40 shots, and you hold that burst down for 2 or 3 seconds, well, now you have a couple hundred shots that you have to deal with. I'll wait for the plane. Again, this is a fantastic option for someone just starting out. Or if you just want a small travel camera. It is very small, takes some great photos, but then that comes down to you as the photographer. The magic of a photo comes from you. JonnyPink, thank you so very much for letting me share with you guys Only thing I ask is give it a thumbs up, and if you want a discount on the rental stuff, it's down below. Why am I pushing that? Because it allows you to try things that you might never ever think you could afford or would even have thought about, and some of it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna wrap this up before I sneeze. So again, thank you. Give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you have not. Share this with somebody if you found it kind of cool. And hey, if you didn't, well then go ahead and give it a thumbs down, and it doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm having a fantastic time out here. I can't ask for anything more. Let's get the last shot. Ready? This is my thumbnail. JonnyPink. I'll see you guys. When did it become okay to not be polite to people? I just don't understand that. It is what it is, I guess, these days. The sign of the times.